Hello and welcome. I'm Nick
I'm the Jags Network.
from Top Notch Sports. Today we're over the 2023 32 GM NFL content creator mock draft that Jags Network was able to participate in. So before we even get into anything, well, how was your experience with this whole event and what do you think?
It was very nice. I mean, it was really well set up and I loved it. It was realistic, fun for everyone, and just a good way to like talk ball and like
Absolutely.
yeah.
For sure. I mean, like I said, it was a cool experience. All of you guys got to, go up against each other. And again, some guys might have lasted longer than what the media says. Some guys may have fell a little bit more than what the media said. Either way, taken early, lasted too long. You know, in a real event, just like the NFL draft in real life, we're gonna see people and everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, that was a reach," or that was he's really sliding down boards. The truth is that NFL teams and GMs are all looking for the same people. They all kind of like the same guys. So when you see that one prospect that's 6'4" and runs a 4.3, other GMs are also seeing it, right? So when you go on PFF or you do a mock draft simulator and you do your draft, the computer, the AI is not going to notice those same traits that a human does. So when you notice it, someone else is noticing it. Therefore, someone might get taken a little bit earlier than you thought. Let me ask you this, without doing any spoilers. Was there anybody that got taken that you didn't think was going to before you could take him, or did your draft kind of go as smoothly as you wanted it to?
I mean, yeah, there was a guy taken by the Eagles I didn't think he'd get taken that early, but
I think I
I
know who you're
wanted
talking about.
he didn't fall to me. And then there was another guy that got taken by, I forgot who it was, but he was like taken in the late teens. I
Yeah.
thought he'd fall to me like I was almost sure of it, but nope.
Yeah, I mean, again, the live event, man, anything can happen. So, all right, real fast, plug your page, tell them a little bit about what you do, and then we'll hop into the slides.
Yeah, I'm the Jags Network. I run an Instagram page and I just post about the Jaguars sometimes and just talk about my thoughts and share them.
Absolutely. And hey, that's what we want to see. So if you're a Jaguars fan, if you're any kind, I don't care if you're not a Jaguars fan, go give this account a follow. Check it out. Again, I enjoy the page. I think you do a good job. And again, I think your content that we're going to be creating together is only going to be better. So, all right, that's that. Enough said with that. Now let's hop into the slides.
180. 180 set.
All right, here we go. Look at these two, Dougie P and Trevor Lawrence. What do you got to say about these two guys?
They're the future.
Absolutely. Is that all?
I mean, not much to be said. They're gonna carry us to a Super Bowl.
I think so. I think so. I mean, look, Trevor Lawrence is a generational talent. Doug Peterson's been there before. He's done it before. And you pair these two up, and I'm gonna be honest with you, you guys look special this year. What were your thoughts this season watching these two go to work?
Yeah, both are great and they work well together. Trevor is a great young quarterback and he's gonna only develop more. Doug Peterson's an experienced coach in the league. He already won a Super Bowl with the Eagles, and I think he plans on doing it with the Jaguars too.
Absolutely. And again, like I said, hey, I mean, you Jags fans, that would be very nice to see you guys in the Super Bowl again. As a Raiders fan, I know how it feels all these terrible years. So, but hey, you guys went there with Blake Bortles. You guys were in the playoffs not too long ago. So, I mean, hey, it is what it is. But all right, that's enough without these guys. Two great guys working together. I'm excited to see what they got to, what they can bring to the table. All right, here's our grade scale. Okay, so this is how we grade you. We grade you on 4 categories: trades, drafting, talent, and needs. Trading, if your trades were good or not, we rank it. Drafting, the overall draft, the trades, the talent, the need, all kind of combined into one. Talent, the talent they get drafted, how good they were or not good. And last but not least, need and fit, okay? And, we go over here to the right, we see all these letters and all these numbers. Well, I want to make this clear. The number grade's more accurate. Okay, this is a grade specifically that you're designed. That's how you really compare yourself to other GMs. The letter grade is to kind of sound nice because, all right, for an example, a 50 in real life's an F, but on our grade scale, it's actually a C plus. So we put these letter grades here so it doesn't look so ugly. Okay, so again, you're probably going to want to promote your letter grade over your number grade because, again, if you get a 75, which is really good, 75 looks ugly. But in reality, it's a B plus, and a B plus in real life is really like an 88 or 89. So again, you probably want to promote the letter grade, but know your true ranking is your number grade. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so again, your grade might look low, but understand that, it's probably actually pretty high. And the other thing I want to make sure I make clear is this. Most GMs have been getting anywhere from B minus to B plus. There's been some C's given out. There's been some A's given out. But anywhere in the B's for all these categories is a really good range to be in. All right, so that's that. Any questions?
Nope. I'll get it.
So we're going to keep pushing this thing forward. Here's your actual depth chart. So I'm going to let you break this down real fast about your team. Let the fans know what you think, where's the weaknesses, where are the strengths, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, so we'll start with the offense. And Trevor Lawrence, obviously a young quarterback. He's had a great second year and he's still improving, so I expect him to be the starter for years to come. And then ETN, he'll be also a starter for years. He's great, and we do need a backup for him, but he can hold his own there and be the starter for a long time. And now we have the receivers: Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Calvin Ridley. All great guys. Zay Jones had a big improvement year. Christian Kirk, we signed a big money. He had a big improvement year. And then Calvin Ridley we brought in at the trade deadline after being suspended. And we got him for pretty cheap since he was under the suspension. And he's going to have a great year. He's been putting in all the work. And I expect our receivers to have all great seasons. And then now to the defense. Here, it's a little bit worse than the offense, but I think we got a solid young core of pass rushers. We got Tyson Campbell locking down the outside, and Darius Williams. He's also pretty solid. Rayshawn Jenkins, big clutch player. Cisco, I like a lot. And then the linebackers, Foye Luakon, leading tackler. Devin Lloyd, still young guy, but he will improve.
Absolutely. Like I said, when you look at this team, it's one of the most youngest cores of guys I've seen. I mean, and Tyson Campbell's been phenomenal for you guys. Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker coming off the edge. You got Devin Lloyd and Voyside Oluokwan on the inside. Two great guys, again, that can stuff the run and also play the pass a little bit. Rayshawn Jenkins, who I wasn't a huge fan of myself, but had a phenomenal year last year. Loved Andre Cisco coming out of the draft. Davon Hamilton, I think, is pretty dang good. Your interior, Luke Fortner's a real young guy. Brandon Schreff's been really good for years. Let me ask you this. Your offensive line, like Walker Little, do you trust him? I mean, he's young, but do you trust him? I mean, right now, year one?
I do. And he stepped in pretty well for Cam Robinson while he was hurt at the end of the year. And he played pretty solid as a young guy, second-round pick. And I think he can be our starter and be solid.
Absolutely. And then, again, you bring back Evan Ingram, who's a phenomenal player. And like you said, this receiving core is one of the best receiving cores I honestly believe in the National Football League. Calvin Ridley's a stud. When he's on the field, he hasn't played in a while, so wait and see what happens. Christian Kirk, everyone was knocking that signing. I actually really liked it. I know it was a lot of money, but hey, he's a hell of a player. Evan Ingram, again, you guys got him real cheap last year. He's just, you want to talk about talent. He's loaded with talent. Last but not least, Zay Jones. Man, I love Zay Jones, former Raider. Okay, I know all about Zay. He is very good. I'll be honest with you. Very underrated player. You pair all them up with, a young stud in Trevor Lawrence. And I like Travis Etienne coming out too. But again, like you said, you definitely might want to bring in another guy, and we'll wait and see what you did in this. So overall, Biggest weakness would you say is what on this team right now?
I don't think we have any huge weaknesses, but I'd say like our biggest ones are probably left guard with Ben Barch. He could be replaceable, and then we just need like the D line just needs like a little bit more depth and like rotation. Like I don't really like Philly Fatukasi, and then he could definitely be replaced, and then just more depth at that position.
Absolutely. So again, like you said, I mean, for the most part, this team's pretty dang solid on paper. A few people here and there, maybe you get a few depth pieces, and you're good to go. All right, so that's enough. That's the actual depth chart. Now let's go to the next slide. All right, here we are. Here are the moves that you made. Okay. So first things
Mhm.
first, Jaguars GM moves, we got trades. So you end up trading, you receive the 2nd-round pick, the 41st overall pick, and you get rid of Trayvon Chase on the 56th overall pick, 127 and 185. What was going through your head, and why did you ultimately end up doing this?
So when I traded up to 41, there was a guy I wanted. His name was DJ Turner,
Yeah,
as you'll see. And I wanted him a lot. So I gave up the pieces. I thought it was a pretty good deal for me. Giving away Kayvon Chase on hasn't really panned out. He was a 1st-round pick, a little bit of a bust. And then my 2nd, 4th, and 6th. The 6th isn't very significant. And then the 4th, I just needed to trade, like just to trade up.
yeah. And like I said, I mean, you look at it this way. So this was an in-draft trade then, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So say and again, when you get to in-draft trades, sometimes you do have to, like, if you want your guy, you got to go up and get him. And I'll tell you something, I like the guy that you got. I really do. So
Yeah.
let's go back here in the 1st round. So what's in purple are your original picks. What's in blue are your unoriginal picks. And unfortunately, I believe we only got through 4 rounds then with you, right? Because the draft went 5 rounds. It went down after 5. So that was that. But ultimately, in the 1st round, you draft edge rusher Lucas Van Ness. What is your take on Lucas Van Ness?
I love him. He's very athletic, very polarizing, and he has lots of potential.
Absolutely.
But
And I mean, how do you think they'll pair him up over there in Jacksonville?
he's versatile. He can like rotate around edge, like 3-4 D end. Like he can play anything really. And then switch him up with Trayvon Walker, Josh Allen, and we have a pass rush that could be lethal.
Absolutely. And again, you want to talk about a guy. I mean, 6'4", 272, 34-inch reach with a 4.58 40-yard dash. 4.58 is pretty damn fast for, a DN / edge rusher in Lucas Van Ness. So you go out, you get a guy like him. He's a guy that, I'm up in the air with yet personally. That's just me. I think I'm going to honestly end up ranking him higher than I did. Right now, I had him at 9. I think he's probably going to go up into my top 6 if I had to guess by the time it's all said and done. I think have you seen the guy's body yet? Like how big he is?
Hercules.
He is a brick wall. I mean, Jesus, like really, this guy's huge. So, and you run a 4.58 40, you only help yourself with a 34-inch reach. I like that a lot. 2nd-round pick, you trade up 15 spots to go up and get DJ Turner. What do you ultimately think about that? I mean, I'll tell you something. I love DJ Turner, but I want to hear your thoughts about him.
No, I like him, and he's gonna be a good slot guy to plug in and play. Year 1, I mean, he's gonna replace Trey Herndon, which I don't like too much. I don't like Trey Herndon, and I think he can fill that role and be a key starter to this team that we're building.
Absolutely. 5'11", 178, ran a 4.26 40. That's like, for those of you that play Madden, that's like 98, 99 speed. So
Yeah.
very underrated on most people's boards was on my notes because nobody's really talking about this guy. He can do most things above average. He can come up with nice hits, but also is very, great at playing physical with the receivers. For a guy that's 5'11", 178, you wouldn't think that he's extremely physical, but he is. Good job at jumping the routes and, deflecting passes at the last minute. He's a guy that again, huge fan of his. Cornerback wise, I'll be honest with you, I had him really high. I have him as my number 4 ranked cornerback. You get him as a steal at the 41st overall pick. You had to trade for him, and I'll be honest, you had to go up a decent amount, but you bring in a guy that I really like. And again, I mean, I think that's an absolute steal. Let's go to the next guy, Sam Laporta, tight end. What do you think about him?
I like him too. He also went to Iowa, like Lucas Van Ness, and he'll be the backup tight end this year behind Evan Ingram. And potentially, if Evan Ingram doesn't play for us like the year after this year, since he's only on the franchise tag, he could become our starter.
Absolutely. And again, one thing I noticed about him, he's 6'3", 245, 4'5", 40. Good job at slipping out of tackles. Wasn't my favorite prospect, but again, you got this guy in the third round. Most are really, really, really top tier end tight ends were already gone by that point. So again, you get a guy Sam Laporta who's going to play a valid role. And like you said, he may end up being your, starter after Evan Ingram's, franchise tag expires. So last but not least, running back Zach Evans. What's your take on him?
I love him. Lots of potential, and he can catch passes out of the backfield. He can run, heavy runner downhill, and he'll back up ETN and be really solid.
I'll tell you something. This guy's a guy, in my opinion, that is one of the only power backs in the entire draft. You want like a guy that's complete opposite of ETN. Like ETN can run with power too, but this guy, he's gonna run you over. He has enough speed to break some runs, but I absolutely love his toughness. He's willing to actually run defenders over, which you don't see a lot, lower his shoulder and go right through them. He trucks defenders and breaks tackles. Again, okay, we don't see many guys do that, but this is one of the guys that has a really good stiff arm. And again, he's able to catch some passes. I mean, again, I said he didn't catch many balls in college, but I also saw this guy catch a wheel route for a touchdown. So he's good enough because he's fast, he's powerful, and I think he can catch as well. But again, he's not going to be the starter. ETN will be the starter, and this guy will play a really nice backup role to ETN, or even a split. You can split both of them. So that's that. So anything here that you regret doing, or that you are really happy with, or anything?
I do love DJ Turner, but then the Bears with my pick got Emmanuel Forbes, who I really liked, and like I thought about taking him instead of DJ Turner. So I mean, I could have just stayed put and gotten Emmanuel Forbes, but I'll take DJ Turner too.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Everyone's high on Emmanuel Forbes. Emmanuel Forbes is 8 for me. DJ Turner's 4. So at least on my board, you got the home run pick between those two. Now, again, could you have sat at 56 and got DJ Turner? I don't know. But hey, that's the game you play. You got to make decisions. And again, hopefully DJ Turner will turn out to be a good player and prove you right. So here we go. That's that. Now let's go to the next slide. Here we go. Here is the depth chart now with the moves that you made. And I actually really like this. So I'll let you break this down. Guys in blues are guys that you drafted. Guys in yellow is a guy that we feel like is possibly a placeholder. What do you think now with this roster that you currently created?
Well, the running back room I think will improve with Zach Evans. JaMychal Hasty was just solid, and then Zach Evans, we really could, if he lives up to his potential, we could have a nice two-headed monster in the backfield. And then Sam Laporta, like I said, he'll be the backup, but he could become the starter after Evan Ingram leaves if he does. DJ Turner, plug and play slot guy. He'll start day one for me. And Lucas Van Ness coming off the edge with Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen. I moved Trayvon Walker inside, but either of them could play that position. Just swap them around or do whatever. They're both very versatile.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, you got so many versatile players. I mean, really. I mean, again, me personally, I might play Walker here and put Van Ness here, but still, either way, I mean, you got two guys that can do both. I mean, I saw Trayvon Walker play defensive tackle, defensive end, edge rusher, linebacker, everything. Lucas Van Ness can play DT, D end, edge, anything you want. So you got a lot of guys that can do a little bit of everything here for sure. On top of that, like you said, really good receiving core. You bring in Sam Laporta to give Lawrence another weapon. You bring in Zach Evans to give Lawrence another weapon. You bring in Lucas Van Ness to build up another edge rusher. You can never have enough. And you bring in DJ Turner, a really speedy corner. So to me, I'm really liking what you did. So let me ask you this now. If these are the moves that the Jaguars make in real life, and last year they went 9-8 and finished first in the AFC South, what do you think their record would be next season, and how far do you think they actually end up going?
I'm myself predicting. I think the floor is probably 9-8 again, and then the ceiling. We could go 12-5, maybe 13-4, but I think we'll go 11-6 or 10-7. We'll place first in the AFC South because, I mean, let's be honest, the rest of the AFC South is not very great.
Yeah.
But I think we'll go to the divisional round again. Maybe we can get to the conference AFC championship game, but we're gonna have to get past a top dog, and I don't know if the team's there yet.
Yeah, and the AFC is just getting tougher and tougher and tougher now, especially with Rodgers going to the Jets. So I look at it too. I agree with you. I think 10-7 is fair. Who knows? Maybe you can pull out, like you said, 11 wins too. 11-6 would be, fair in my opinion, in my own assessment. I really like this team. I think it's a solid squad. And again, if they make these moves, I feel like for sure, I think divisional is very fair as well. I feel like your prediction is right on the money. Maybe again, if you can, piece together a few games, hell, yeah, you can make the conference championship. Hell, you could end up being in the Super Bowl. But to be fair and honest, I think that divisional round is a fair prediction for this team if the moves that you made are made in real life. All right, so now we're going to compare this, and we're just going to flip back and forward a little bit so people can see it. Actual depth chart, the moves you made. Actual depth chart, the moves you made. Actual depth chart, the moves you made. So clearly, I mean, you filled in a lot of holes. I mean, real fast just so we can see it. Fatukasi is no longer on the football field. Could you bring in Lucas Van Ness? We're bringing in Zach Evans for a depth piece. We're bringing Laporta a depth piece, and we're bringing in DJ Turner to play that slot position. So ultimately, here's a team that we're looking at for Thursday. Thursday's a draft. What do you think this team's going to do on Thursday in the first round? What do you think they're going to honestly end up doing?
By the looks of it, I think we want either Brian Branch or Nolan Smith. I don't know if Nolan Smith is going to fall to us. I've also been hearing talk about Osiris Torrance. So I think it's either going to be Brian Branch or Osiris Torrance, but I'd prefer Branch.
Yeah. I mean, again, you take Branch. He's a nice young piece. So if everything goes right, you're saying you want Branch. And I'm sure,
Yeah.
would you have taken Branch over Lucas Van Ness if he was still there?
I probably would have.
Who was like, all right, I like to hear that. Now, I'm saying that the pick was, I'm just saying I like to hear what you would actually do. Who else would you have taken over Lucas Van Ness if you were given the opportunity? Like, who else was on your board?
I really like Cam Smith out of South Carolina. He got taken by, I think, the Steelers, maybe. And Nolan Smith, I would have taken over him. That's about it that like fit my needs
Absolutely.
that
No,
I
for
can
sure.
remember.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I just want to hear where your head's at. So you want to see any of those guys kind of go to the Jaguars then on Thursday?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, all right, now it's a moment of truth. We're at the final grade. Now, again, I don't remember what your grades are right now off the top of my head. This isn't just me either, so don't punch me in the head if they're low. I mean, it's not just me. It's a consensus between four guys. They ultimately do it. I try to strike. I mean, you just heard how high I was on your draft. So let's see what we got. So there's 4 categories. After every category, I'll let you add your insight. Tell me whether it's fair or you think it's a little low or if it's high. And then again, we'll reevaluate this around week 8 or at the end of next season. Does everything make sense to you?
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. Let's see what we got. Trades. They ultimately went with a C+. Now, again, me personally, I love DJ Turner. I think DJ Turner's a great pick. I feel like you gave a great explanation in this video why you traded what you traded to go up and get the guy. They ultimately thought you overpaid to move up 15 spots. But again, my whole thing is, as I told you when we talked about it, if you like a player, you go up and get your guy. So I feel like your analysis on the pay, what you told us right now, goes a long way. Because again, they don't know, like they might have just thought this was a before the thing, but you went up and grabbed your guy, and I'll tell you something, I love the guy that you got. So what do you think about this grade? Do you think it's low? Do you think it's high? What's your opinion on it?
I do think it's a little low. They might be overestimating the value of Caleb Chase on.
Yep.
And I also checked the chart before, like
Yeah,
the value chart, and I think I was winning that trade by the value chart.
that's what I'm
So
saying.
I'd
So
bump myself up to maybe like a B or B plus there.
absolutely. And again, like I said, it's very like I said, there are B's are tough to earn, A's are non-existent, really, in this series. But we'll say. All right, so Trey's got a C plus. Let's go to the next one. Draft A minus.
I
They
like
end up
that.
giving you an A minus on the draft. Lucas Van Ness, DJ Turner, Sam Laporta, Zach Evans, A minus. What do you think about this grade?
I think it's fair. I mean, I don't think I deserved an A plus or A because there were some guys that I wanted to fall to me that didn't. And then like I could have pivoted a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. But again, ultimately, like I said, I think you are one of the only GMs. I think I graded around, well, not just me, but we all have graded around 20 something GMs now. There have only been like 3 A minuses and higher. There has not been a single A plus. Let me put it that way. So you're on an elite tier of getting something in the A's right now by getting the draft as an A minus, which means your overall draft trades, needs, and talent included, or equal around an A minus in the opinion. All right, let's go to the third one. Talent, B plus. They go with a B plus. Lucas Van Ness, I'm pretty high on him. DJ Turner, very high on him. Laporta, Zach Evans. What do you think about the talent being a B plus?
I like it. I mean, obviously, like you said, it's hard to get an A, so I understand getting a B plus. Obviously, I'd like the grade to be better, but Lucas Van Ness, Sam Laporta, DJ Turner, Zach Evans, all very talented guys, but it's all right.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, we'll be able to rebut these at the end. And last but not least, need a B minus. Now this one is interesting. They go out and they give you a B minus, and I remember the exact reason. They said, all right, you take a backup tight end, which I agree with you because, again, hello, Evan Ingram's on a franchise tag.
Yeah.
Lucas Van Ness, they said, oh, blah, blah, blah. Lucas Van Ness is a great piece because you can use them all over the place,
I mean,
edge or D end. So, again, this one I'm battling with you and backup running back. They're saying maybe you could have addressed the guard situation. What do you think about this? And again, I'm debating that it should definitely be higher. I mean, a lot of these, like I said, I understand that you guys think they should be higher because, hell, you can make an argument that it should be. So let me hear what you think with this.
yeah, this one I disagree with the most, and I guess Lucas Van Ness is the one they're like don't like, but obviously the team in real life really wants an edge rusher because they had the most top 30 visits to edge rushers by any team by like 4. We had 7 edge visits,
Yep, absolutely.
and the next highest was like 3.
Yeah, no, I hear you. So the whole thing is that, like I said, with these grades, again, all right, you're gonna earn GM points from these grades. You're gonna get a grade. It's very hard to get anywhere in the A's. You got what you landed an A, which is gonna give you a good amount of GM points because you landed the A. So with that being mentioned, again, at the end of the year, we're gonna look back, see how you did, and with all that being mentioned, we're going to be able to reevaluate you and probably, I mean, hopefully in your case, right, give you higher grades and not low. I hope nobody gets lower grades because we start off, it's very conservative. We're very conservative with the grades. We don't like to give out high grades and then take away. We rather give low grades and give you more. So again, looking at this right now, that's that. Let's look at the next thing. You earn 775 GM points. So hopefully you'll be able to use those in free agency. That sounds good, right? You know how to use those then going forward?
Yeah, I do.
All right, so that's a good amount of points there, and that should really help your rankings too. Your final score, now again, that looks low, 67, but that ultimately means a B. Again, a B. So right now, there's not a single guy given. I don't think anyone's earned an A minus or higher yet for a grade. I could be mistaken, but I believe this puts you kind of within like the top 5 to 10 probably top 5 to 7 GMs in the entire thing. So right now, understand that score is not bad at all, and know that it's better than a large. So any other things that you want to mention real fast? No.
Back to the need. I mean, they battled with me on Zach Evans and Sam Laporta. And like you said, we need a backup tight end. I think Evan Ingram and one other guy, maybe it's Luke Farrell, are the only 2 tight ends on the roster, and Luke Farrell hasn't done anything. So we need a backup badly, and we need possibly a starter for the year after this year. And then Zach Evans, Hasty is just like all right. And then like we need a backup running back, and I like Zach Evans a lot. So
I do too. Like I said, listen, don't discourage your picks at all, because I'll tell you right now, you're going to be the final one laughing if these picks turn out to be, phenomenal choices. All right, real fast, we're going to go back on camera now. All right, we are back. Here we are. Overall, you did a phenomenal job. Again, you may be the one having the final laugh again when it's all said and done, if your guys end up being good. And again, I want to stress this. I think the Zach Evans pick is a really good pick. I think the DJ Turner pick was a really good pick. I think Lucas Van Ness is going to be a pretty dang good football player. I think Sam Laporta, it makes sense too, because you need a tight end. So overall, I feel like every pick you made was great. The thing is that, they're saying, could you have used a lineman there, here, blah, blah, blah. It is what it is. We'll wait and see. You'll have the final word at the end of everything. Final thing, plug in your page one more time.
The Jags Network on Instagram.
Awesome. And then any other thing you want to add at all? Any final comment you want to make, so when we look back at this a year from now, you can be like, hell, I was right.
Nah, I'm good.
We'll
do all till we die.
All right. Hey, that's all from us. We'll see you guys soon. Peace. We are Built Better.